Hello everyone, Old School from WhatTheBuck.net, coming to you live from One Buck Place. We're doing a live update actually from the field today. Got a lot of people still out here getting autographs. It's Military Appreciation Day. Despite the fact that we had a tropical storm roll in, we had surprisingly good weather. The rain was pretty consistent and nasty, but there was no lightning, so the team was able to get in a full practice. If you listen to Coach Cutter, you listen to the players, they're actually enjoying the fact that they get a chance to practice conditions. From a perspective of the overall practice, energy level once again feels a little bit low. I'm not sure whether that's just cautionary or not, but the first time in pads did not disappoint in the trenches. Offensive and defensive line got to tee off. I was tweeting as much as I could. I've got some video clips that I'll put up after this as well. Gerald McCoy looked pretty dominant at times. Spence in one-on-ones also looked dominant. I know Pewter Report mentioned that yesterday. He was doing a great job again today. Our edge rushing is certainly an area that's going to be focused on. But I was just talking or watching an interview with Jacquizz Rodgers talking about how O.J. Howard has made such a significant impact with his ability to block and set the edge. You see that pretty consistently. Oh, thanks, Sharon. I appreciate that. Yeah, share my gear. Simon, yeah, the lift made it happen, so it was all good. The tight ends are still out there working on their blocking and their footwork, which is good. You see a continued amount of effort despite the weather. Deshaun Jackson came up to the podium and gave a nice interview talking about the cohesion with the offense and the firepower. Quarterbacks, despite really crappy weather, had a much better accuracy, in my opinion, from the first day of camp that I saw. So despite the fact that it was a wet ball, driving rain at times, wind, the accuracy across the board was better. Receivers, I thought, had a little bit of an off day, especially as sort of the darling of the receiving corps so far. Chris Godwin didn't pop quite as much today. I don't think it was a lack of effort or anything like that. I just think that's the way it goes sometimes. Coach Cutter came up to the podium, talked about the amount of reps you're going to get between Ryan Fitzpatrick and Ryan Griffin, and then how they're going to normalize those a little bit over the rest of the practices and training camp. Offensive line in general looked pretty solid as they were continuing to flow left to right. There was a lot of short plays today. Not a lot of explosive plays down the field, but you wouldn't expect that. I put a video up this morning. I know there's been a lot of concern and consternation about Jameis Winston having a brace on his left knee, even though it's been discussed as precautionary. I think it's precautionary. I put up the scramble drill in wet. Now, these fields are incredibly well drained, but it's still wet conditions, and he was running at full go with no brace today. So if you were concerned about that, if that was in the back of your mind, I would say go ahead and allay those fears. They did some install, which I didn't quite understand, but Coach says this is part of their normal thing. They said this was exactly what they did. Spence looked good today. Wasn't killing people, but looked good in one-on-ones. In general, we didn't get enough of the 11-on-11 full contact for me to get a lot on the line. Hoping to get some more of that with the other padded practices, so I apologize I can't give you more updates than that. Baker was out today. From the beginning of camp, he had been iced his knees yesterday. Other than that, I didn't see anything else going on that looked scary. I did not get any Caleb Benenoch sightings. Sorry, I was looking. The only one that popped up for me was there's a 72 on the offensive line. I don't have my roster sheet in my pocket. But he's a giant. It was a battle of the 72s. I'm not sure that either one of them is destined to make this squad, but it was fun to watch them. I am planning to go to Buffalo, to Opie. I got to make my arrangements. Things I'm going to be looking for. And Godwin's look good. Godwin's look great, actually. Godwin's much bigger than I gave him credit for being, and he's played even bigger than that. I've got a number of video clips I'll put up. I thought that in the 11-on-11s and the 7-on-7s on air, the team looks very sharp. Devontae Bond looked good as well. So Devontae Bond had a good practice, in my opinion. So good stuff, guys. Really good stuff, especially with this weather. I really expected it to be less of a good practice, and they got the whole damn thing in, which was great. I'll let you know, Opie, when I make those plans. If you guys are interested in meeting up while we travel, we certainly put that stuff out there. Thank you, Shucker. Well, there's two 72s. There's a defensive and an offensive, and they were going at each other, and the offensive lineman is a giant, and he was killing him. But it was good to watch. Great attitude out here. Brian Ford was out rallying the troops. Military Appreciation Day, always a good day out here at camp. Coach Cutter actually met some of the vets from Gainesville who came all the way from Gainesville for this practice, spent some time there as well, which was nice to see. The team is definitely reaching out in all regards. Marpet and Sweezy look good. I want to see them in goal line. We didn't get a chance to see goal line sessions, but everyone in here is just excited about Sweezy's attitude. Rodgers called him the silent killer. He says he doesn't talk much on the field, but he goes out there and mauls people. The combination of him and Marpet in the middle sounds good. Joe Hawley was hamming it up again today. But in general, I think we got to get some goal line scenarios to see what these guys are really going to do. I did hear someone say that Sweezy body slammed someone, but I didn't actually see it. Evans looked good in the snaps I saw. I've got a couple of videos of Evans. But in general, I think that the rotations are looking pretty good with Tandy and Conti as well. So I know that's thank you very much. Trato is the other 72. That's the high-level stuff, guys. Tight end-wise, Eau Claire is still someone that's in everyone's sights. My camp darling, my Ed Gant. If you've been following me for a while, I always pick a player that's the dark horse candidate. You're welcome, Chef. Ed Gant was the one that I started with, number 15. Didn't quite make it. I didn't see any kicking shootouts. I saw Brian Anger kick the hell out. Odd man and tight end, that's what I'm talking about. I love Westbrook. I think Tevin Westbrook has got all the physical tools. He's going to play football somewhere. I just don't know if he makes it here. I've said from the beginning, I think Luke Stocker, as much as I love Luke, may be the odd man out simply because of years in the league and relative cost versus performance. But Eau Claire certainly got a lot of people heads turning, but they're doing a lot of work trying to get that stuff done. So we'll watch the tight end some more. We'll see blocking drills. Eau Claire look good against the sleds, but so does Westbrook. So I don't think that's where they're going to separate themselves like ASJ got separated, aside from the off-the-field kind of shenanigans stuff. So we'll get this video up to YouTube as well. We got a podcast Thursday night. I'm not sure who's going to be joining us, but when we have the podcast going on, we'll let you guys know about that. That's on whatthebuck.net. We'll put some more videos up today, some more stills, and just let us know if there are questions you have or opinions. If you were out here at camp, let us know what you saw as well. And if you do come out to camp, holler at us, and we'll try and get together, maybe grab a bite to eat afterwards. Thanks.